I'm going to be 100% honest with everybody on this one. And two things about the Oscars here. First and foremost is I didn't even know they were happening last night until I seen a little blurb that instead of watching the Oscars, watch this. It's like, oh, I guess that's happening again. And then again, I didn't anticipate talking about anything that happened here, even in light of reading the headlines about Will Smith and Chris Rock, which we're going to be getting into. And I got a little bit of a different approach on this one, even though I've seen some of these ideas been bantied about by a couple of different people, at least what we're going to be talking about here. But even still, when I read the headlines, I was thinking, it's like, okay, listen, I know WrestleMania is happening over the weekend. I guess that's what's going to be happening. I can smell a work from a mile away. And because I just read the headline, didn't even bother looking at the clip for a second. And then it's like, yeah, okay, obviously this is going to be a setup, right? Because, okay, last year, historic lows when it came to the Oscars, right? So, okay, you go up to a couple of people that probably have at least a little bit of a history, right? Okay, even back on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, they worked together, Chris Rock and Will Smith, and it's like, hey, can you guys kind of figure something out so we can get a little bit of buzz? So even if this year's going to be a complete fucking throwaway, we'll try to build towards something next year, something more diverse and wonderful, whatever the fuck we can figure out. And it's like, okay, maybe they worked something out. But then you watch the clip, and then it's like, okay, interesting. The slap is an actual slap, okay? Chris Rock does get a fucking palm to face, and there looks like there's a little bit of an exchange. Now you can read into it a little bit before and after, and then you can start to think, did they really work this out beforehand? Maybe, but was the subject matter hitting a little bit too close to home, and then Will Smith was starting to get worked up because of it? Interesting, because there's a lot of factors at play here. But before we get into that, let's just take a look at what Pravda, American Pravda, is saying on this one. Oscar ratings surge after historic lows last year. And like I said, and it's been a common theme throughout the year and a half that I've been running this channel, never trust the headlines only, because it's hardly a fucking surge. Okay, cool, they got more than last year, sweet. Last year was a historic low when they jettisoned about half of their fucking viewer base, and guess what, only half of that loss ended up really coming back. So what did they get at the end of the day? The second lowest rating Oscars literally ever. And thanks to the backlash of Will Smith and Chris Rock, it's highly unlikely that they're going to be recovering from this. So even if it was a work, at the end of the day, it didn't produce the results that they were anticipating. The 94th Academy Awards, they'll be lucky to make it to 100 because it's Hollywood. They'll just be able to astroturf enough support to get it there, but maybe it'll be a smaller affair once it hits triple digits. Don't really know. Featured one of the most shocking moments in the show's long history. It also included a significant ratings bump for ABC. Significant, huh? Let's see how long it takes for them to even dispel their own bullshit. The show drew an average of 15.3 million viewers for ABC on Sunday, according to early Nielsen numbers. Now, okay, I would like to see the quarters or even like the hourly breakdown, because I don't really know how fucking long this abomination went on for, but obviously it's like, okay, so the smack happened early in the show, okay, and then Will Smith won, which you get this one right, he won Best Actor after that all occurred, and he was allowed to go up there and he delivered his modeling, kind of rambling, emotionally amped up response, his acceptance speech after that happened, and he was allowed to go on for 5 minutes. But then you can also see, and I don't have a clip of that, and nor do I really care to, but it was kind of disjointed in and of itself. So he was still on that kind of an emotional high, that emotional ramp up. It's like, oh fuck, I acted completely out of pocket, even if, maybe it was set up, but at least it was subject matter that hit really close to home for him. So he was still up there. He was still just kind of bouncing around like he was ready to just dole out another limp-wristed snack, but whatever. So I'd like to see, because this, again, another reason why I thought that it might be a work to begin with is because, yeah, oh my god, it took over Twitter for the evening, I guess. I don't know. I don't fucking... pay attention of what's going on over there. It's mostly just, if you take a look at the trending tab, which if you ever find yourself wondering what the creatures of Twitter normally talking about, it's normally some form of Donald Trump, Trump is a criminal, Trump crime family. There you go. There's 3 of the top 10 trending topics at any given time. Not because they have the most traction or anything like that, and it's not like there's actually anything going on at that point in time. It's just that's what's allowed to be what's happening now. Anyways, but yeah, no, here's where CNN unfortunately has to at least give a little bit of truth to this. That's a 56% increase from last year's show, the lowest rated Oscars ever, which brought in just under 10 million viewers. Yeah, we talked about that at the time as well, and then just laughed at the fact that, okay, there's a multitude of reasons why the Oscars drew so poorly at that time, but one of the central figures is not too many people like to tune in for just famous people, because famous people are vacuous idiots, okay? Nobody knew what the pictures are that were up to be nominated. Nobody watched any of those fucking woke atrocities that were up there, which, again, kind of carried over to this year as well, with the exception of the one that Will Smith was nominated and he won his Best Actor award for. Coach for the Williams sisters in tennis, I think that's what it was. But yeah, there was a lot of movies about, I think, like what did they say, the best picture went to some film about deaf kid taking care of their parents. Cool, stunning and brave, whatever. Sure, it had adequate amounts of diversity in it to make it fucking acceptable for the Academy, because that's what they're doubling down on. So that would be another reason why shit looked a little bit squirrely from the outset, because yeah, it's 2 black guys and it's like, okay, cool. So if it was a black guy hitting a white guy, it would be, oh my god, that's showing black people in a bad light. And this one, it's black on black violence, because that's what all of these people just specifically see race or shit like that, or oh my god, nobody out there should be talking about this because this is a specifically black problem, so only the black community can talk about it. Those are real talking points by idiots that are out there, but whatever, let's continue. Anyways, yeah, no, so as you can see, yeah, last year 10 million viewers, this year 15.3 million viewers. Cool. All things considered, that's welcome news from the Academy and ABC, but Sunday's rating was still the second smallest audience in the show's history. Just 8 years ago, the Oscars brought in more than 40 million viewers. Yeah, cool. So big rating surge, but it's still a fraction of what you were doing less than a decade ago, so congratulations. Get woke, go broke. But as for the clip in question itself, and because The Guardian has the whatever #1 trending clip on, or #1 trending video of this, and they got the uncensored version of it, and you got Will Smith dropping the F-bomb a couple of times on there because he was going white knight extraordinaire. So for everybody, and we might stop it and might comment over top of it or not, I don't really know, nor do I really care. I'm fucking working on the fly on this one, so I'm gonna go and show you. Okay, so Chris Rock was up there giving the award for best documentary or something like that. It's really germane to the point. He was just up there just going to show you, or once again reinforcing the point that the politically correct sanitized Chris Rock is somebody who would probably be on the receiving end of a fucking slap from the late 90s, early 2000s Chris Rock, because his quality of jokes that are up there, and you can even see, and we might stop that to comment on it for a second there as well, he's going exceedingly light on these people, as maybe because he hasn't been able, and purposefully so, hasn't been able to flex his comedy chops for a long fucking time, so he's holding a lot of this stuff back, probably on purpose, probably because he can't go any harder than he'd like to. But this is a guy who grew up in a tough town. He's not a big dude, okay? So he had to joke his way out of a ton of tough situations. So he could have went a lot harder if he was trying to be a dick, if he was trying to insult people. He totally could have, but he didn't. He was just trying to joke around. Well, let's go ahead and let's give you proper context on this one, because...
You know who's got the hardest job tonight? Yeah. Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win.
Very funny.
He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord.
So, okay, that's the quality of joke that you're getting. Okay, oh my god, look at that. A man can't upstage his wife because that would be an uncomfortable situation. Sit and applaud, sit and applaud. Very funny, Chris. Glad you're part of our group now. Thank you for toning down your rhetoric. Don't get too spicy, especially when you come up to the very contentious topic between Will and Jada Pinkett Smith's relationship. And here we go.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
That's the problem right there. That is the problem. Okay, what was the joke? Okay, cool. So he's trying to carry over from Javier Bardem, and that looked like Penelope Cruz. I don't really know. Okay, I don't fucking pay attention to Hollywood. It's all garbage anyways. But Chris Rock, everybody knows he's a fucking comedian, first and foremost. He tried his hand at acting. The decent voice actor, but fucking moving right along. He makes an offhanded remark that Will Smith better win, so Javier Bardem doesn't have to. Maybe her award has already come and gone in the night. Whatever, right? And then he looks over somebody who he's had at least a working relationship. Apparently they were both a part of the Madagascar line of animated films that were quite popular late 2000s, early 2010s, right? So they've worked together before. Okay, they're friends, and he makes a joke, a very topical, very timely joke. It's like, okay, cool. A G.I. Jane joke. Oh, okay, cool. It's like, yeah, she's bald. Okay, at least he didn't say, I can't wait to see you in the fucking remake of Brian's song. That would have been funny. Or hopefully, yeah, they reboot or they try to resuscitate the Philadelphia franchise. It's like, he went as basic bitch for a joke as you could possibly get. It's clearly a fucking joke. It lands like a Led Zeppelin, but whatever. He had the opportunity to make just a time-filling joke before I went, anyways, so for the nominees for next, it's like, it's exactly what you get. But instead of being lighthearted about it, it's not like she has some fucking life-threatening illness. She has alopecia. Sort of, kind of. Even with the quality of this clip here, and it's a secondhand clip from a secondhand source anyways, and it's on YouTube in and of itself, so it's going to be compressed anyways. You can still see that she has a hairline, okay? She's fucking shoring it back because she wants to make a statement, okay? Because she has to be the center of everybody's fucking attention, okay? So instead of just playing it off, it's like, ha ha ha, yeah, I know, but oh well, moving right along. None of this shit would have fucking transpired from here anyways. But no. She had to be totally bent out of shape. She had to roll her eyes, and then that's what precipitated all of this stuff. Yeah, and as you can see, the crowd's
that was a nice one. Okay.
Yeah, like he's saying, it's like,
I'm out here.
whatever.
Uh-oh.
And then guess what? All of a sudden, okay, so Will comes up and absolutely nothing. So another thing that people are using to say, oh my god, that was totally fake, other than the fact that you can hear that he's, you know, like, delivered an actual smack. And it's like, why would you deliver a smack? If you're trying to stand up for the dignity and the respect of your fucking tramp of a wife, you would throw a punch, right? Okay, if that was just so horrific, which, remember, not that long ago, he was fucking laughing about. We can just go back and, yeah, play that. He's laughing. He's like, yeah, okay. You know, like, oh yeah, she does look like a fucking military recruit, even though, you know, she's like 30 years too old to be in the fucking army anyways. He's having a good time. She gets pissed off. As you can see, just before the camera cut back, she's looking up at Chris, and then you know exactly what happened after that. She used that exact same fucking look right back on Will. Then he decided to go Super Saiyan simp and cuff him one upside the head. It's, of all things to get bent out of shape over, wow. It's like, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Yeah. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife.
Yeah, exactly. You can hear the tone of voice change from Chris Rock, okay? And I'm not a big fan of Will Smith's acting, okay? I've always thought that he was kind of a dollar store Eddie Murphy to begin with, but regardless, okay? Look on his face, okay, afterwards, and the way that he just escalates this because he's, oh, I'm standing up for the honor of my wife. And then Chris Rock, who, you know, his acting credentials speak for themselves, he's like, dude, it was a fucking G.I. Jane joke. And then you're going to hear something here at the end that's going to tip you off to the fact that, you know what, if he wanted to, he had more rounds chambered that he could have just fucking unloaded and left everybody destroyed in its wake. But, of course, yeah, being the white knight, or the beige knight, I guess, on this one, he has to stand up because his wife's honor was impugned.
G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
I'm going to, okay?
What a spaz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, wow, I could. And it's like, okay. And it's like, okay, cool. So that's basically everything that you got. And then he's like, oh, no, that could be like the biggest. Yeah.
Greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, just play it off because, okay, cool. You never anticipated anything like that happening, really, honestly. You make a joke, okay? You see somebody coming up on stage like that, and you don't sit, like, we could just go back. It's like you can see him. It's a little bit goofy the way that the fucking screen is paused and whatever, but he's standing there, he's got his hands in his pockets, he's like, so what the fuck's gonna happen here, okay? Is he gonna ask me to, I don't know, maybe at worst say an apology to her because, oh, she's suffering from whatever this crippling illness of, oh, she losing some of her hair, whatever, okay? Or, you know, maybe he's gonna put me in place because I'm much smaller than him, and Will's like, what, 6 and change and about 2 1/4, and Chris Rock's about, what, 5'8", 5'9", and about 1 something. The last thing you would have expected is to get hit. You might get roasted back, okay? You might be asked for an apology, but, especially in public, especially in front of all of your supposed peers, it's very interesting how this all played off. So, and the fact that, oh my god, oh, those are fighting words, you get smacked in the face like that, it doesn't matter where you are, you're supposed to go back and charge him back. Honestly, Chris Rock did exactly what you'd expect him to do if this was a totally unprovoked attack. Like I said at the beginning, when I seen that, oh, Will Smith slaps Chris Rock, is something's got to be worked. But the way that this all plays out, the fact that he just kind of stands there, he gets slapped, and is like, what the fuck is going on? And then just kind of reassesses the situation, listens to Will spurg out, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth, stop talking bad about her. It's like, all right, he's having a moment right now. He's like, I could have went, yeah, fuck it, we'll just, you know what, it just life goes on, okay? And like I said, afterwards, you know, Will wins Best Actor, and it's like, okay, now the Academy's going to be doing a big search on this one, like it says here. The Academy condemns Will Smith's slap, starts a formal review of slapping incident, and it's like, okay, cool. So you're going to start a review on this one? He smacked him. He caused a big scene. He dropped a couple of F-bombs on live TV. Chris Rock said shit. He's also not pressing charges on any of this stuff as well. But again, this could also supersede whatever Chris Rock really wants. He's not going to press charges, but could the LAPD press charges? Yeah, it's highly possible because you can't consent to stuff like this. So it could go beyond this, but more likely than not, it's all just going to fucking fall away because it looks like nobody's really all that fucked up about the situation, especially Will Smith. That is taken from the after party, which, incidentally enough, Chris Rock didn't attend afterwards as well. So what do we know? Chris Rock made a joke at the expense of another man's wife. Not somebody who he's unfamiliar with, okay? Not people that probably haven't hung out in a social setting before in some form or fashion, okay? They've known each other. They've known each other for quite a while, okay? It was not even close to being anything that could be perceived as being an outright insult, okay? You'd have to twist those words and you'd have to reimagine the situation to make that seem like it was any sort of a volatile moment and that it was a personal attack. It was a comedian making an offhanded remark, okay? So you have all of that in totality. What can you glean from that? Okay, hindsight being 2020, Should Chris Rock have made that joke? No one, because he has at least some sort of a relationship, and he should at least know the personality of Jada Pinkett Smith, the fact that she is batshit fucking insane. Maybe stay away from that. And then also knowing the headspace of Will Smith, and that's what we're going to be getting into on this one, because this is a man right here who is very, very broken. Okay, at a multitude of levels. Okay, he is like in the pantheon of famous people. There are very few more famous than Will Smith. When you say the name Will Smith, okay, even as common of a name as it is, he immediately comes to mind. Okay, when you say actor, okay, he's probably pretty close in your Rolodex. Okay, or when you say black actor, what comes up? What, Denzel Washington and then Will Smith, vice versa. Okay, there are very few people who have as much influence, who have so much name recognition, who have so much fame in the world as Will Smith. But all of that doesn't matter when your life is in such personal disarray, because that's his family. You can see in the picture right there, that's from last night, okay? His entire family is there. It's him smiling. It's his wife on the far left there, how apropos, after a costume change, not smiling, looking at the camera. Okay, that's his daughter right next to him, who's also another just mental disaster as well. His youngest son, okay, the one who was starring in all of those awful films, and that he was trying to get his acting career off the ground, even at the cost of his own profile in, early 2010s? Does anybody remember After Earth? Yeah, exactly. Trying to put all of his political capital behind an acting career that would never get off the ground for somebody that untalented. And then his son from a previous relationship, who is, for all accounts, a pretty normal guy, mostly because he didn't fall out of the box of Jada Pinkett Smith. That's what one could surmise on this one. But he is a broken man, Will Smith this is. I'm not talking about the kids, okay? The kids are all fucked up for many a reason, okay? Because you got Jaden here, okay? Obviously, probably the most famous of his kids. I don't really know, nor do I really care, but yeah. He's tried acting, he's tried rapping, music, whatever the fuck. But then now he's going to be a fashion or a style icon by wearing skirts in public. Jaden shocked even his loyal and tolerant parents wearing a skirt. He is 100% fearless. Will Smith commented on that. And finally, Jaden also made himself more astonishing recently when he joined a bunch of models to represent Louis Vuitton for their new clothes collection for women. Cool. Because he is a LGB, whatever the fucking letters you want to add to the back of that, okay? He is an icon for them because he is non-binary and he has a boyfriend now, which is totally fucking fine. But honestly, when you have your father trying to further your career, and what do you end up doing at the end of the day? Wearing a dress with weird people taking your picture. You kind of feel like a failure. And then you have daddy's little daughter with a septum piercing, which if you have that, sorry, that is one of the hallmark signs of somebody who has severe, severe daddy issues. I'm just saying the numbers don't lie, and I have met many a girl with the septum piercing before, and that right there is as reliable of a marker. Large hoop earrings. There you go. But I get it if you're dressing like this when you're 14, 15, 16, you're a rebellious age, but not showing up to the biggest event of the year, the shaved head for no apparent reason, with your non-existent tits maybe hanging out, okay? It's a black tie event, and then you have your fucking weirdo son just hanging out in a pink suit, trying to hold on to something that is no longer there because your wife, who has done nothing but undermine your masculinity for fucking years, pollutes your family, pollutes your respect, and pollutes your dignity. And you, because you think that that's what a man should do to just try to hold the family together, just tries to grin and bear it and not pay attention to any of it. Because look at everybody there looks like they're off in their own little fucking world, including Will. He's just so disconnected to what his family's on. I think we talked about this before, right? Okay, or at least I knew I did something on this at some point in time, but the relationship between Will and Jada it's what society tries to push as the modern couple. As Will is the modern man who should just be fine with his modern woman out there fucking her way through the city, and that he just stands at the bedside, just holds her hand while she gets her cheeks clapped, okay? That's what a man is supposed to do. Be a strong man by making sure that your bed frame is just as strong as the bull that shows up, and you make sure that you have that snack tray ready, and that nobody gets dehydrated, and you just provide the Gatorade, and you sit in the fucking living room like a good cuck, and you just play your Nintendo Switch. That's what led to the outburst last night at the Oscars, because Will, every time that he talks about his relationship with his wife, who shouldn't be his wife anymore, he should just fucking move on, because, like I said, he's Will Smith, okay? It doesn't matter that he's 50 flurf. He could get any woman of a certain age that he wants. Maybe not now, maybe not after this outburst, maybe that made him completely and utterly toxic. Maybe that's mission complete from Jada, because guess what, now he has nowhere else to go, and she can continue to get everything that she wants, including his loyal sympathy. Let's just get into a couple of statements on this, because this video is already running long. Will Smith is addressing the long-standing rumors that he and his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, have an open marriage. In the November GQ cover story, this was from last November 2021, by the way. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air star admits their relationship began with monogamy, but then evolved. Listen to how he categorizes this relationship. Jada never believed in conventional marriage. Jada, okay? What did Will believe? It really doesn't much matter. Jada had family members that had an unconventional relationship. How did their relationship turn out? Was it successful? Was it not? So she grew up in a way that was very different to how I grew up. Oh, exactly. How did you grow up? We'll get into that in the last article that we have up here. There were significant, endless discussions about what is recreational perfection. Why? What? In what context are we preferring to relational perfection? And shouldn't you be just striving towards a better relationship every day? You should be aiming towards perfection. Will you ever achieve it? Of course not. Perfection's impossible in a multitude of areas, but this is very interesting. And for the large part of our relationship, note where he makes a mention of our or ours, or he ever includes himself, as opposed to, Jada wanted this, and then it just happened. I didn't really have much say in it. And for the large part of our relationship, monogamy was what we chose. What we chose, not thinking of monogamy as the only relational perfection. Monogamy is what we had. And then we started to have these conversations about relational perfection. Who were they brought up by exactly? Oh, okay. The King Richard star, that's what he won the best actor for, I guess. I don't know. Supporting actor, probably. Best handholder in a scene. Starr explained that he and the Gotham alum, have given each other trust and freedom. Okay, cool. Within their reunion, because of them, marriage can't be a prison. Okay, cool. So she wants to go around, she wants to fuck people, or oops, actually she has before. And then, you know what, instead of atoning for that, no, we should just have an open relationship so I can continue to go out there and fuck some of our son's friends. I don't suggest our road for anybody, which is just a open plea for help. It's like, please, I don't know how to get out of this web that I've tangled myself in. Or maybe he's just so far gone, and maybe she's just putting arsenic in his fucking drink, or whatever other mind control device that she has that is keeping him in this situation, because it's almost like everybody else can see the fact that that's Will Smith, and he's forgotten that he's Will Smith. Anyways, I don't suggest this road for anybody. I don't suggest our road for anybody. I don't suggest this road for anybody. That should be in blinding a neon sign behind him. Help me. Help me, he noted. But the experience, that the freedoms that we've given one another, and the unconditional support to me is the highest devotion of love. But the experience, that freedom that we've given one another. Okay, cool. So in freedom, right? Because this is all in relational perfection. Okay, so if you're seeking to perfect your relationship, okay, if there are some holes that need plugging up or whatever, apropos analogy, it's like, okay, so you need to stray outside of your marriage. So what's the point of a marriage, anyways? After that, because as the old saying go, women control the access to sex and men control the access to relationships. So if you break down that barrier, which, yeah, the woman can have access to a relationship whenever it suits her, and she can just go around and access more relationships at her whim, even though the same social contract is still applied to those different dalliances. Whatever. Smith, 53, also acknowledged that his wife's entanglement, that was blasting by a much younger rapper. August Alsina made it seem like she was the only one to have an extramarital affair. Yeah, because it's documented, it's noted, and it was brought up to you. And what was your response to that? Yeah, well, but that was not. Smith delicately explained to me, in fact, that's not the case. The public has a narrative that is impenetrable. Unlike your wife, said Smith. Oh, God, here he comes. I can hear him. He's coming up the stairs. Oh, my God, he's going to come Anyways. Said Smith, who was also set to release his memoir, Will, in November. And more reading on that one, as to why he hasn't left this fucking marriage yet. Once the public decides something, it's difficult to impossible to dislodge the pictures and ideas and perceptions. Well, if you had something so quantifiable as, yeah, okay, cool, the sex between... It's like, okay, his explanation is like, okay, cool. Have you ever tried fucking a 50-year-old? It's not quite as good as fucking a 25-year-old. So I've been out there sowing my seeds as well. She's been doing it as well. But at the end of the day, we're man and wife. And there's, hey, sex is just a thing that we do together and that we involve other people as well. Okay, cool. There's degenerates that do that all the time. Fucking do your dirt, okay? But when he's saying that, that's not the case. The public just has a narrative. I'm definitely fucking. It's like, really? Are you really though? Or are you just trying to cope openly? In July of 2020, the couple who married in 1997, boy, time is a bitch, revealed that they had secretly separated when she had her tryst with Alsina. We did everything we could to get away from each other, only to realize that's not possible. Jada told Will during their red table talk, which is where the meme of him crying with pain, where she's explaining how she was getting reamed out by somebody 30 years, Will's junior. But why hasn't he left? Why hasn't he left this situation? All of these fucking problems reared their ugly head, yes, in July of 2020. And then, of course, that's when the public became aware of that. Maybe that's where he became aware of it. But at least since then, why the fuck hasn't this stopped, okay? Why is he putting himself through these awful outbursts, okay? Why is he trying to defend the honor of a woman who lacks it, okay? She's out there spreading that fucking peach for literally anybody who asks for it, dude. You read the stories, you read some of the tabloids. She has been fucking everywhere and idolizing every one of her previous relationships except for the one that she's in right now, allegedly. That's because, just like Will's daughter, he has severe daddy issues. And this was one of the things that came out as an excerpt from his memoir, which probably is going to give you a little bit more insight than what you probably knew to begin with. And this is where I diverge from some of the other people who've been talking about this, because yes, of course, you have the, oh, it was totally fake, it was totally a work. It's like, oh no, he had an outburst because I need to defend my wife. And then a bunch of the people are like, no, this is just absolute fucking soy rage. And it's like, yes, but what's the deeper problem on this? Okay, this is the manifestation of the modern man, and don't be down for it. Okay, this is what society wants for everybody. They want these open relationships, but not understanding that successful societies are built on fucking monogamy, okay? Oh, fucking, that is monogamous, okay? Polyamory doesn't work for everybody in society, okay? It might work for 1 or 2 people up at the top, okay? The most successful people having the access to the most amount of women. But when you fucking close off the society, and then when you try to bring kids into the situation, this is what Will is still trying to do. He's like, listen, we're still trying to raise these fucking disaster kids, okay? Mom's being out there, she's out there being a hoe of epic proportions. Everybody knows it, and he's still trying to maintain this nuclear family because he has a fucked up situation with his father. I almost feel bad for Will, but to find yourself in this situation years afterwards, not being able to reconcile it, it's all on you, dude. Actor Will Smith reveals a dark part of his upbringing and the complicated relationship he shared with his late father in the new memoir. In Will, out November 9th, the star details his dad as a man with dualities. My father was violent, but he was also at every game, play, and recital. He was an alcoholic, but he was sober and at every premiere of every one of my movies, he wrote, according to an excerpt by People magazine. He added, in the same intense perfectionism, there's that word again, that terrorized his family, put food on the table every night of my life. Now you can start to see a little bit more. Sure, my wife is a bit of a disaster. Sure, my dad's a bit of a disaster, but he's a good man and he took care of his family. But I can't leave my wife because I need to take care of my family. See what's fucking going on here? The terror is illustrated in the story Smith tells about when he was 9 years old and he watched his father punch my mom in the side of the head so hard that she collapsed. That would be traumatic. I'm not taking that away at all whatsoever. But you try to take that and analogize that to a relationship. What is one of the most fundamental acts that you can do in a relationship? Well, it's monogamous sex, obviously. So then when that gets shattered and you can't quite reconcile with that, you can't fucking figure it out. It's like, no, she was talking about, she was giving me all of these excellent examples from her family. Meanwhile, it was just more or less justification for her hoeing around. And you know what? Me trying to have some sort of a say in the situation. I saw her spit blood. This is Bill's mom. He writes, that moment in that bedroom, probably more than any other moment in my life, has defined who I am. That's where I think all of this stems from. He wants to hold on to his family, his ideal that, yeah, you know what? Every time I took a role in a film, I was always the good guy. I was always the virtuous guy. Take a look at every role that immediately comes to mind, okay? 7 pounds. I don't know why that's the first one that came through, okay? A man trying to make good on his bad life decisions, okay, and makes the ultimate sacrifice without spoiling it for anybody. It's been a while since I've watched it, but I remember how the movie ends, so if you want to watch it, and if you haven't already, it's fine. It's a bit slow and meandering. Anyways, a pursuit of happiness. A man trying to get a job so his kid doesn't have to live on the street. Okay? Even Independence Day. Okay? A man with a young family trying to fight off an invading horde, which depends on how many of his son's friends are coming over to fucking rail his wife, could be played out every time. But whenever he takes a fucking movie role, it's always the guy who does good because that's who he wants to be. That's the guy Will Smith wants to be in real life. And he is trying so hard and he's failing so spectacularly. And he keeps lashing out in these more and more outlandish and outrageous ways. Where it goes from here, who the fuck knows? But he's trapped by a prison of his own creation. That's fucking sad, dude. I don't know, maybe Chris Rock should press charges against him. Maybe physically removing him from this situation and getting him the help that he probably needs might be the best course of action for him. But again, I changed my mind on this situation a bunch of different times in a bunch of different ways once I started to see everything play out. So that was my thought process on it in the big scope of things, and this went even longer than I anticipated. I thought it'd be a long video, but it's even longer than I thought. But hopefully you got something out of it. Sorry. And hopefully you understand that it's more than a guy just trying to stick up for his wife. Like this is the fucking 1960s. Like, see, you're looking cross at my wife, huh? That's my gal. And no. This shit is a lot fucking deeper than that. This is a broken dude lashing out irrationally. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.